Are we recording?
Yes.
Okay. Is the sound on?
Yes.
You're sure?
Why wouldn't it be?
I'm just checking. Okay.
Oh, let me check.
Smell, you.
Yes.
Taste, me.
Mm-hmm. Dryness,
You.
tannin,
Me.
acidity,
You.
alcohol.
Me.
Finish.
Sta-da-da-da. Okay.
Ta-da-ta!
Sta-da-da. 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 One more time, and then I can do it.
Alright.
Ready? Set. Stare. Welcome to Drunk Wine School. I'm Laura,
I'm Ashley.
and we are here to make wine more fun and accessible for everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers! As we've gotten comments on all three of our last videos, everyone wants to know what we're drinking.
It is delicious.
Yes. And Ashley will show you the color. I'm Vanna. You're Vanna.
I'm Vanna. The bottle.
Good. I'm Pat Sajak. So what we're drinking today is a Skins Contact Colorado from Sicily, which is actually one of Sicily's native white grapes. And despite the color, this is still a white wine.
It looks like beer.
It's not beer. It's done on the skins like a red wine, so you may have heard the term orange wine, and the color is where it comes from. So that's what we have today. It's pretty nutty, pretty good. This is Nino Baracca's Colorado from Sicily, one of my absolute favorites.
This video is all about teaching you how to talk about wine. Like, what the f are tannins? So when tasting wine, there are a few different components that come into play, so we're going to talk a little bit more about those.
You may hear people say a wine is either light-bodied or medium-bodied or full-bodied, and the body of a wine is made up of a couple different things, starting with the taste, the smell, the dryness of the wine, the acidity, the alcohol, and the tannins.
Yes.
Equate it to milk, which sounds weird, but makes sense. Think of a skim milk, a 2% milk, and a whole milk, and those can be your light-bodied, your medium-bodied, and your full-bodied wines. The body of a wine can really be simplified into saying the overall mouthfeel of the wine. So these components that we're going to talk to you about, all these different structural elements of the wine, even just the way it tastes and smells make up the body of the wine, and it's really just the overall mouthfeel, again, how long it sticks around, whether it's your skim or your whole milk.
Yes. So
Smelly cat, smelly cat.
So what you do when you smell a wine, you stick your nose in really deep into the glass, open up your mouth a little bit, and inhale. As demonstrated by Laura. Then you can swirl the glass, and the reason why people do this is because it brings air into the wine, which really elevates the aromas.
Are you sure it's not just because you look cool?
And because look how cool I look. And then you get to drink it.
Which brings you to the taste of the wine.
I'm not done with smelling.
Oh, that was
we
a joke.
talked about one. Oh. So different things you might smell. Passion fruit, grapefruit, stone fruits, citrus, grass, very common descriptors. Lots of different things. If that's what you're smelling, just say it. You're right. You smell what you smell, and we believe you.
Now that you've smelled your wine, you're ready to taste it. And it's really important to remember to do that smelling step. Even if you feel a little bit weird about sticking your nose in the glass, your smell does make up for, allegedly, 90% of your taste and your palate. So it's really important to do that. And when you taste the wine, you really want to take 2 sips. The first one is to accustom your mouth to the fact that you will be drinking alcohol or just in general wine. And the second sip is really where you get your flavors from. So in something like red wines, you may smell, or you may taste like currants or earthiness. I don't know why I put that in quotes. In something like a white wine, you might taste that grapefruit, or you might taste lemon or apple. There are a lot of things that we've mentioned you could smell or taste, like grass or grapefruit or apple or berries or earth. We want to remind you that the wine is still made out of grapes. So very rarely are you going to pick up a wine and be like, this smells and tastes like grapes. Say a wine smells like blueberries or lemons, and it's just grapes. I mean, those fruits aren't in there, so don't feel silly if you think your rosé smells like strawberries.
Dryness is something that is probably one of the most misunderstood words in the wine world, understandably so. One of the first things that we do learn when describing a wine is to say you like dry wine or you don't like dry wine, when in fact about 90% of the wines on a wine list or in a wine store are all considered dry. You can have a fruit forward wine that, you know, tastes more fruity and may taste sweet, but it's actually dry. So when talking about dryness or sweetness levels in a wine, it's in reference to the residual sugar. So during fermentation, the yeast will eat up the grape sugars, and when the yeast eat all of the grape sugars, that is when there is no RS left and the wine is considered dry. You can have off-dry wines that have a touch of sweetness and a touch of residual sugar, but aren't considered dessert wines, even though they have more pronounced fruit flavors. There's no residual sugar in those wines. You really start to taste sweetness on the tip of your tongue, right there. One trick, I guess you can call it, is if you were to plug your nose, you'll look like a fool, but you plug your nose and take a sip of wine, as Laura's demonstrating, and think of when you're eating honey, how you have that sweet sensation that you can feel. If when you're drinking the wine and your nose is plugged and you don't feel that sensation, that means that the wine is just fruit forward and not sweet, and it's a dry wine. Tannin structure is another misunderstanding. Another confusing point between tannins being dry versus sweetness levels.
Tannins are when you drink a wine and your mouth kind of feels like a cotton ball or like dry Velcro on your tongue and your teeth and your cheeks, and it's really astringent and makes your like gum stick to your teeth like. Tannins come from the skin of a grape, but they can also come from a wine that's aged in oak. It just really, I always think of it as like grip, like it really grips your mouth. It sticks around for a while. Red wines like California Caps are going to have quite a bit of tannin to them. It's just the nature of the grape. It really has to do more with what grape you're using. Something like a Chianti or a Barolo from Italy, you know, a couple wines that definitely have a lot of grip to them. So that's what a tannin is. It's a drying sensation in your mouth. It's astringency, but it's not, don't use the word dry when talking about tannins because it'll just get you confused.
Yeah. And if you don't like tannins, a good word to use is to say you want a juicy wine.
Yeah.
Something light in tannin will feel a lot juicier. Oh, my mouth's watering. After that.
Because we took a big sip.
Yeah.
Which is a great segue into the acidity of a wine.
Yes. So acidity is the mouth-watering sensation. So think about biting into a lemon, if one would do that. Any sort of tart fruit that makes your mouth water.
Or a Sour Patch Kid.
Or a Sour Patch Kid. Sour candy, things that you feel on the sides of your tongue. If you were to leave your mouth open, well, not cute or acceptable in public, your mouth would fill up with saliva. That's how you know you have a high acid wine. Some words that are commonly used to talk about high acidity in a wine is crisp or bright. Sauvignon Blanc, fresh.
What was I going to say? Acidity. It's a good thing. And the last thing you want to think about, the last thing you want to feel when drinking a wine is like, ugh, I don't want any more of this. Yeah, like, ugh, this is bad. When your mouth waters, think about a dog that's hungry. They're going to drool. They're going to keep eating. They're going to eat more. So when we're drooling...
I have a good analogy. Better than a dog. Think about you put, a spritz of lemon on your salad or on any
Dogs
sort
are
of...
better than salad.
or any food to just, add another layer. Just helps make the wine feel more lively. It tastes better. It's not flat. Just imagine, think of this acidity as the carbonation in Pepsi or any sort of soft drink. When there's no carbonation, it's flat, and no one wants to drink flat soda, even if it's soda water.
True that. Sauvignon Blanc,
Yeah.
very high acidity, like a naturally high acidity in the grape, almost always raging high.
Yes.
Pinot Grigio, low acidity. Next topic is alcohol. There's a couple different ways to tell the alcohol of the wine. Your first way is visually. Just kind of let the wine sit on the glass. Like little legs come down. They move pretty slow. There's a lot of alcohol in the wine. The other way is to drink 2 glasses and see how you feel. And the third way is really upon the taste. So think about drinking hard alcohol. It burns down here, it like dries out down here. It's like dragon breath.
Think about that shot of tequila.
Yeah.
It burns.
Average wine alcohol, ABV wine content, is going to be anywhere from 11 to 15%. The alcohol of a wine definitely has an effect on the body, because it makes it stick around a lot longer. And when you're looking at a wine menu and you have no idea what the heck to order, if you see a wine from somewhere in Europe, you can assume it probably has, this is a really dangerous sentence, but you can assume, at least for the white, it probably has a lighter body. If you see something from a warmer climate, like think a warmer climate almost always has a fuller bodied wine. There's more sugar in the grapes because they're riper, so there's more alcohol in the wine. Bottom line, alcohol has the biggest effect on the body of a wine.
Yeah.
So think about your climate when you're picking out wine. It's an easy go-to.
Yeah. Finish. In all sorts of ways. People will explain a wine as having a short finish or having a long finish. And what that means is how long the
It sticks with you.
not good. Good isn't the word I'm looking for. Favorable. Not favorable flavors. Okay, got it. Yeah, I got it. Talking about a wine's finish, people reference it as being a short finish or a long finish. And what that really means is how long favorable characteristics linger. How long those things last. The longer, the better.
That's what she said. So thank you for tuning into Drink Wine School. Or sorry about the "that's what she said" joke. We hope you know a little bit more how to talk about wine, and we hope you can kind of understand our ideas. Give us some feedback if we're not making ourselves clear.
Yes.
This in particular was a very rough episode for us to get our words out properly, so it's all up here. Hopefully some of it got there.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
Well, until next time.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers.
Let's hope that was recording.
Woo-hoo!
So when tasting a wine, there are
We were both looking down as you said in that sentence. Okay, we should close the book.
No, we need the book.
Okay, so don't look at the book.
We look and then we look and look up. Yeah, at the camera. When tasting a wine, there are a few other components. I look down. Okay, ready? This video is here to teach you.
Sorry, you're cut off.
No,
You keep looking down.
I'm looking down. It's fine. Fine. Different types of aromas. I'm looking down, and that's.
I am shutting the book.
No,
Yes.
no. Don't put it away. I'm gonna need that.